Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Iron Man Wave Ursa Major Build-A-Figure. Here we have the Hologram Iron Man figure. So before I get started, I would like to say thank you to DORKSIDE Toys. They actually had this in stock over the weekend. I ordered it and received it the other day. And then I actually got charged for the full case shortly after that, so I have the full case coming, but I did order Ironheart, the Hologram Iron Man, and the Modular Iron Man because those were in stock and available. It seems like DORKSIDE always gets Marvel Legends first, so if you're going to pre-order, I probably would recommend going through DORKSIDE Toys because they just get everything so early compared to other sites. So DORKSIDE Toys is where I got mine from. So checking out the package, we got the Iron Man logo there. It says Hologram Iron Man. We get this nice little Iron Man logo there up at the top. Ursa Major Build-A-Figure in the top corner. We have this nice artwork of the Hologram Iron Man design. And I wonder if this is like new original artwork or if it was pulled from the comics, because the figure itself actually uses an MCU Iron Man. This was the Mark 43, I want to say. This is the Avengers Age of Ultron version. God, I want to say it's the 43. I think it's 43. Anyway, that's what this figure is based on. So that artwork looks very similar. So I don't know if this is like new original artwork. Maybe I'm wrong on that. We get a better look at it there on the back. The bio reads, Hologram Iron Man, ever the innovator, Tony Stark takes flight in holographic form, a computer-generated avatar, and an enduring force for good. Here we have all the figures in the wave to build the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure. Modular Iron Man, Vault Guardsman, Stealth Iron Man, Dark Star, Ironheart, Hologram Iron Man, and Ultron. So we are here. Normally I would go in order, but I'm all going kind of this way, that way, all kinds of different ways. So I still need to do the Modular Iron Man. I'm going to be receiving the Maestro Hulk figure tomorrow or today, depending probably when you watch this video. I'm also getting Quasar, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna do those ones before I finish off the wave, especially since I haven't received the whole thing yet, and I might not get it until Monday. But there we have it. So let's get this figure out of the package. Okay, so here's the Hologram Iron Man figure out of the package. This one, there's not a whole lot going for it, especially since it's an old body mold. But it's still, the translucent plastic still looks pretty cool. It's not gummy at all like the Juggernaut Wave Iceman, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. And you can do some fun factor stuff, you know, with some lights. Like I have these finger lights, these blue finger lights, you know, you could do things to really get them to stand out and kind of look pretty cool. I think I got some decent looking pictures to kind of show a hologram looking detail. Hopefully it kind of works. But first let's take a look at the accessories that he comes with, which isn't a whole lot. It's going to be the repulsor blast effects that we see all the time with figures, and then he has fists because the hands on the figure are just open hands that he comes with, and then he also has the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure head, which looks pretty cool there. That tongue is like a separate piece, as you can see it on the inside there. That lower jaw is a glued in piece, but that just looks really, really good. I like that. We get a nice nice shading over here where his cheeks would be, as well as the top of his head and into his ears and everything. That just looks badass. So I'm really excited to build this bear, the Build-A-Bear. Because I think it's just going to look awesome and be an amazing figure. So I can't wait for that. But let's take a closer look at the Iron Man figure. Okay, so these repulsor blast effects that come with the Hologram Iron Man, it is the same that comes with Riri Williams Ironheart. It's just this flared out portion right there that is actually different. Let me focus back in. This flared out piece is all that is different. The actual repulsor blast effect is actually the same, but we get two of them, no additional paint or anything like sometimes we get on some. And then of course he has these additional fists that are done in translucent. These don't feel gummy at all either, so that is pretty good, and they go right onto this Hologram Iron Man figure. So here he is up close, and I think he looks pretty good. There's minimal paint on this guy. We get some white paint. So they kind of outline some certain lines that's actually within the sculpt. And I think it looks pretty cool. It actually helps get it to stand out as opposed to just a clear plastic figure. So we get those nice white lines. You can see them on the face for the eye lenses and everything. And then some of that line work that's going on there. kind of all throughout the torso. There's a bunch of different line work, and all the lines are pretty clean too. I don't have any issues with any of them. As you can see, we kind of go down into the front of the legs as well. Even got a little bit on the feet. On the back of the figure though, not a damn thing. Nothing. And I guess shouldn't expect a whole lot because Hasbro tends to not paint anything on the back. So none of those white lines whatsoever through the back of the figure at all. So just thought that was a little interesting. But yeah, looks really good. You can see all the pieces and everything on how these figures kind of come together, what parts are holding the joints together, like the knees and the elbows. Then you go to like the ankle and the foot. It's pretty interesting to actually see some of that. So that's actually pretty cool, and it doesn't, I don't feel, take away from the, you know, the hologram look to it. I mean, yeah, you kind of you see those parts, but I don't think it really gets in the way. I think it actually ends up looking pretty cool, but I like it. Now let's zoom out for his articulation. Back with these Iron Man movie figures, they didn't have the best of articulation, so let's take a look at it now. So this particular MCU Iron Man figure, some of these older ones were really tricky. I feel like the legs are too close together, and then the hips actually seem too far apart and wide out compared to the torso. So there's just kind of some weird things going on there. We get this thigh cut up here. It's like a hip ball that's in there, and I always hated like the ball joint hips. And this basically kind of has those, so we'll kind of take a look at that. But anyway, this Iron Man figure, he can look all the way down, he can look all the way up. The neck is on a ball peg and hinge, so you can get him into some flight poses. Full rotation, of course. A little bit of pivot, not a whole lot. We do get these shoulder pads here, and they feel like they're on there pretty tight. I don't want to pull them off. I know a lot of the older Iron Man figures, these shoulder pads could actually come off. I'm going to try and avoid that. But we'll see how high up I can actually get the figure. Let's see, you can work that shoulder pad up, and you can get the arm to go basically straight out. Full rotation, of course. You have an upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, like so. So you're only going to get a little bit more than 90 degrees. Wrists swivel, and they hinge, same hinge with the fists. So we have a diaphragm joint on this Iron Man figure. So getting him to pivot to his left, it's only going to be that much. Getting him to pivot to his right, it's going to be about the same amount, which isn't a whole lot. Going back is only some. Coming forward isn't a huge amount, but again, he's a man in an iron suit. How much movement can he really get? And then because it is the diaphragm joint, there is no waist swivel, so we get the swivel at that diaphragm joint. Legs can go out that far apart, which isn't a whole lot. He can't kick forward that much, but you kind of have to work that hip ball in there. But anyway, at the thigh, at that hip ball, you get a swivel in there. You get a double jointed knee, like so. No calf swivel. Foot hinges down a tiny bit, hinges up like nothing at all. Pivot that is tight, and you have to really work on it. But he does have peg holes on the bottom of the feet, so I guess that's something. Yeah, these older ones, they just didn't have the most range of motion in the articulation. Now that they've kind of refined how they do movie Iron Man figures, there's a lot more articulation to them. This figure was basically, even before they came out with Iron Man figures that are like this, which had much better articulation. So at the time, I guess this was pretty good, but even still, hip ball joints really weren't the best. So not terrible, not great. Okay, so here is the side-by-side look of the two Iron Man figures. Again, they are the same figure. Here on the red one, I think you could see a little bit more of what I was talking about, where the legs just seem like they want to come close together while the hips kind of stick out compared to the torso. It's just kind of weird how those ball joints just kind of stick in there. I was never the biggest fan. I mean, overall, the figure can look good. It's just, I just really don't like ball hip joints. But again, same exact body mold as you can see there. Okay, here we have the hologram Iron Man next to the artificial intelligence AI Tony Stark. The translucent plastics are different color. This one has more of a turquoise green hue to it compared to the blue of the hologram Iron Man. But we're going to pop this Tony Stark head off anyway, and we're going to see if it works onto this figure. I have a feeling that it's probably not going to work. it looks like maybe, oh, you can pop it on. So we can do that. It looks big, kind of, because I mean, if you even look at the head, it's bigger than the helmet actually even was, but it could kind of work, you know, if you put like certain color lights to it. Maybe you could really hide it. So if I put like a bright blue light on there, let's kind of turn off some lights and we'll check something. So if you put some blue light to it, you can really get it to blend and really look the same. So that's, you know, could be an option if that's what you wanted to do. Okay, and so far from this Iron Man Ursa Major Build-A-Figure wave, I have the two figures that I've reviewed, Ironheart and the Hologram Iron Man figure. Okay, and there is my review of the Hologram Iron Man figure. Not a whole lot going for it. It's just a translucent plastic Iron Man figure that has been reused. So nothing really new going on with this figure. But again, I will tell you that it is not gummy. It feels like a much harder plastic, so that is good. You can't really get into very dynamic poses. It is a hologram anyway to kind of begin with. But it's still an interesting take, and it's not a figure that I'm mad about, but I feel like maybe it wasn't really necessary. But again, I do think it can look really good, so you can get some light. So if you use like this finger light that I have, there could be some extremely talented people that could do some amazing things, I'm sure. So I would love to see some pictures in the coming weeks and months of people using this figure. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of it. If it wasn't for the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure head, it could probably be an easy pass for a lot of folks. But you know, I'm good with it. You know, I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's there. It is another Iron Man figure with all of the Iron Man figures that we've gotten. This is probably the weakest in this wave, but you guys let me know what you guys think of that. Do you agree or disagree with me? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.